So the good news is that life can continue to be the way it is, and our relationship to life, the way we feel about life as it unfolds in each moment. And so when I say the way we feel, it means that there's either that psychological identity that basically feels very uncomfortable in life, very challenged by these circumstances that are not perfect, or that identity starts to diminish, starts to weaken. And what we find ourselves with is the absence of that identity, but still the presence of being a human being. So essentially a human being free of a certain way of functioning in life. Now, the doership in us will hear what I'm saying and go, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it happen. That sounds great. It doesn't work like that. Life is throwing stuff down, and it's like it's raining, and we get hit by the drops, and they have an effect, or they don't have they have an effect which might be to change us or not to change us. Maybe that's raindrops, not the greatest of analogies. It's, like, well, anyway, new conditioning coming in from life, and our system is a particular way. And so whether it absorbs the new conditioning, whether it understands the conditioning in the way that the speaker is intending it to be delivered, is not really in our control. It happens one way. We understand it, we don't understand it, we misunderstand it, but think we understand it, and it still leads to some positive change. All of that is a mystery to us. What we are aware of is this, oh, I get it. And it seems like I, the doer, got it. Whereas in fact, we were given the information, the brain processed it, and it either got it or it didn't get it. And if it gets it, the thought and the feeling that we have is, oh, that makes sense, I get it. And it feels like I, as a person in control of getting it or not getting it, utilized my power and made it happen in such a way that I got it. That's what it feels like. The truth is, all this stuff came in, the brain did its stuff and popped out an answer that could be, it could easily have been, I've got no idea what you just said. It's just blah, blah, blah. Or it pops out and goes, oh, that's great. I see it. I didn't see it before. And so this notion of non-doership is so absolute. Okay, one of the ways that our brain processes non-doership is it goes, oh yeah, we're not the doers. This is all just happening. And it has no idea really of what that means in its in the deepest sense. In the deepest sense, when we look at it, is we aren't doing anything. As in, there isn't a controlling entity. There is a functioning entity, functioning according to its design. And it is an entity that thinks, but there is no thinker of the thoughts. So what that means is there is an entity that is a machine that processes information and produces thoughts. That's the thinker. But as when a teaching says there is no thinker, what it's talking about is the thinker that we assume to be who I am, is in control of how the thinking happens. It just doesn't exist anywhere in the system. So when you look for yourself as the thinker, if you really can see, you'll find there's just a programmed instrument. There is no separate, independent thinker in control of the thoughts it thinks. There is a machine that is forced to think a certain way.